1993, Oldham Athletic, 8 Days to Survive. The inaugural Premier League season produced a survival story for the ages. Oldham Athletic, seemingly doomed with a week to go, were 6 points from safety with 3 matches remaining. Joe Royal's men summoned an improbable revival. 3 wins in 8 days, including a final day 4-3 thriller over Southampton, despite a hat-trick by Matt Letizia. As Crystal Palace fell 3-0 at Arsenal, the Latics stayed up on goal difference by a mere 2-goal margin. Boundary Park erupted in relief and disbelief at this great escape. Although Oldham would be relegated the next season, their 1993 heroics became Premier League legend. 1994, Everton, Stuart Sparks, the comeback. Everton's proud top-flight tenure hung by a thread on the final day of 1993-94. The Toffees had to beat high-flying Wimbledon at Goodison Park to survive, but fell 0-2 behind within 20 minutes. In a frenzied comeback, Graham Stewart buried a penalty and Barry Horne blasted a long-range screamer to draw Everton level. With 9 minutes to play, Stewart struck again, sending a packed Goodison into delirium. Everton clung to the 3-2 win and, as their relegation rivals failed to triumph elsewhere, they completed a sensational escape. Fans flooded the pitch in celebration at preserving Everton's top-flight status by the skin of their teeth. 2000, Bradford City, Weatherall's winner, saves the Bantams. Premier League newcomers. Bradford City were all but written off in 1999 to 2000. With 5 matches remaining, they sat 6 points from safety, having lost 6 in a row. Paul Jewell's men then rallied. A 4-4 draw at Derby halted the skid, followed by wins over Sunderland and Wimbledon. It came down to a final day showdown, with Bradford hosting Liverpool and relegation rivals Wimbledon away at Southampton. At Valley Parade, a 12th-minute header from captain David Weatherall gave Bradford a 1-0 lead. As news came in that Southampton were beating Wimbledon, the Bantams dug in. Bradford held on for a famous 1-0 victory over Liverpool, securing their top-flight status and sending down Wimbledon against all odds. It was a triumph for a team that few believed could survive. 2005, West Bromwich Albion, survival Sunday triumph. West Brom's 2004-5 Great Escape made Premier League history. The Baggies had been bottom at Christmas, traditionally a death sentence. Yet they became the first club ever to survive from that position. Brian Robson's side entered the final day in last place amid a 4-team relegation dogfight. West Brom knew only a win would do, and they delivered by beating Portsmouth 2-0 at the Hawthorns, with goals from Jeff Horsfield and teenager Kieran Richardson igniting belief. Even then, their fate hung on other results. In the dying minutes, Charlton equalized against Crystal Palace, the crucial favor Albion needed. At the final whistle, West Brom were safe, and the Hawthorns erupted in euphoria, fans spilling onto the pitch to celebrate a great escape that capped off Survival Sunday. 2006, Portsmouth, Harry's Houdini Act. In March 2006, Portsmouth looked doomed, sitting 8 points from safety with 10 games left. The club had reappointed Harry Redknapp as manager mid-season, and his January signings, like striker Benjani Mwarawari and playmaker Andres D'Alessandro, added fresh impetus. The turnaround began on 11th March with a 2-1 win over Man City, sealed by 2 spectacular Pedro Mendes goals, including a stoppage-time winner that electrified Fratton Park. That dramatic victory sparked belief. Portsmouth amassed 20 points in their final 10 games, 6 wins, 2 draws, to climb out of the drop zone with a game to spare. Having escaped relegation, Portsmouth went on to enjoy 4 more Premier League seasons and lifted the FA Cup in 2008, a triumph rooted in this great escape. 2007, West Ham United, Tevez inspired a miracle. The 2006-7 West Ham team achieved a remarkable turnaround that seemed impossible in March. With 9 games remaining, the Hammers were 10 points from safety at the foot of the table. Under Alan Kirbishley, the Hammers surged with 7 wins in their final 9 games, racking up 21 points, compared to just 20 points from their first 29 games. The catalyst was the late form of Carlos Tevez. Tevez, goalless in his first 16 league appearances, exploded into form with 7 goals and 3 assists in the final 10 games. Tevez scored in a vital 3-4 loss to Spurs that galvanized the team, and he netted crucial goals down the stretch alongside Bobby Zamora. On the final day, Tevez's 29th minute goal stunned champions Manchester United at Old Trafford, securing a 1-0 win and ensured West Ham's survival. It was arguably the greatest escape in Premier League history, though clouded by controversy over Tevez's registration, which followed the Hammers even after their ecstatic celebrations. 2008, Fulham, Roy Hodgson's great escape. In the spring of 2008, Fulham were virtually relegated, 5 points from safety with just 3 matches left. In fact, with 20 minutes remaining in the third-to-last game, Fulham were losing 0-2 at Man City, while a relegation rival was winning elsewhere, meaning the Cottagers were moments from the drop. Then came a comeback for the ages. Diamansi Kamara scored twice and Danny Murphy once in the final 20 minutes at the Etihad, as Fulham roared back to win 3-2. That stunning turnaround kept them alive. In the penultimate match, Fulham beat Birmingham City 2-0 in a relegation 6-pointer, setting up a nail-biting final day. Needing a win at Portsmouth on the final day, Fulham secured survival survival with a second-half header from captain Danny Murphy, earning a 1-0 victory and staying up on goal difference. It completed a stunning turnaround for a team that was just 20 minutes from relegation 2 weeks earlier. Fulham's great escape remains one of the Premier League's most dramatic, setting the stage for their remarkable Europa League run under Roy Hodgson. 2011, Wigan Athletic. Rodalega's late rescue. Wigan Athletic's 2010-11 survival was a rollercoaster. Roberto Martinez's side spent much of the season in the relegation zone and entered the final day needing a win and help from other results. With 13 minutes left in the season, they were still in the relegation zone. Then, fate swung in their favor. Manchester United scored against fellow strugglers Blackpool, and moments later, Hugo Rodalega headed Wigan into a 1-0 lead at Stoke, a goal that ultimately sealed their Premier League safety. Wigan held firm to their 1-0 lead through a tense finish, sealing a vital win and escaping the bottom three at the last moment. The Survival Sunday victory sparked wild celebrations, confirming a 7th straight Premier League season. It capped a remarkable final surge. Just a week earlier, they had staged a 3-2 comeback win over West Ham. The dramatic surge showcased the team's resilience, with Martinez and his players jubilantly celebrating safety on the Stoke pitch. 2012, Wigan, from rock bottom to resurrection. A year later, Wigan conjured a second escape act, this time in emphatic style. Bottom of the table with 9 matches remaining, the Latics faced a gauntlet of elite opponents. Manager Roberto Martinez inspired an extraordinary transformation. Wigan's stunned Liverpool, then suffered a cruel loss at Chelsea before shocking Manchester United 1-0, their first ever win over United, to spark belief. They followed up by toppling Arsenal at the Emirates and thumping Newcastle 4-0. By season's end, Wigan had won 7 of their last 9 games, surging from last place to safety. The breathtaking run earned Martinez Manager of the Month and etched Wigan's great escape into Premier League history. 2014, Sunderland. Wickham leads the miracle escape. Sunderland appeared doomed in April 2014, rooted to the bottom and 7 points from safety, with 6 matches left. Under manager Gus Poyet, the Black Cats suddenly caught fire against all odds. A spirited draw at title-chasing Man City kick-started their fight-back, followed by a stunning 2-1 win at Chelsea that snapped Jose Mourinho's 77-match home unbeaten streak. Sunderland's revival gained steam with a 4-0 thrashing of Cardiff and wins over Manchester United and West Brom. Striker Connor Wickham found red-hot form, scoring all 5 of his season's goals in this late surge. From rock bottom on April 16th to safety by season's end, Sunderland's miracle escape was complete, lauded as one of the Premier League's greatest survivals. 2015, Leicester, the great escape before the glory. Leicester's 2014-15 survival was astonishing, a prologue to their fairy tale title win a year later. The Foxes spent 140 days bottom of the table and sat 7 points adrift of safety with 9 matches to go. Manager Nigel Pearson galvanized his team for a late surge. A nervy 2-1 home win over West Ham, sealed by Andy King's goal, snapped an 8-game winless run. Then Jamie Vardy's injury time strike earned a 3-2 victory at West Brom. Leicester won 7 of their final 9 matches, securing safety with a game to spare. That great escape's momentum carried into the next season, when Leicester famously won the Premier League, making their survival legend complete. 2020, Aston Villa. Grealish drags them over the line. Aston Villa's top-flight return went to the wire. Despite spending big after promotion, Villa spent nearly all of 2019-20 in the bottom 5 and entered the season's final weeks in dire trouble. With 4 games left, they found a spark, beating Crystal Palace 2-0, drawing at Everton, and upsetting Arsenal 1-0. That set up a final day showdown for survival. In a tense affair at West Ham, captain Jack Grealish fired Villa ahead late on, and a 1-1 draw proved enough to keep them up. Grealish's heroics, a team-high 8 goals and 6 assists, and Villa's grit clinched safety by a single point, preserving their Premier League status against the odds.